Hi, I'm Stanley, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can take control of the workspace in InDesign. Now, I'm currently working in InDesign CC 2015, but it's going to be the same for earlier versions. First of all, I'm going to be covering today in the workspace, I'm going to be covering all of these panels and the tool panel here on the left hand side. Just show you how you can take control, add some more panels and preserve those modifications. So first of all, over on the left hand side, this is where your tool panel is placed by default in InDesign. When it's in this state, I can click little chevrons at the top here, one click, and I can get it into a double column like that. That actually is all I can do. However, if I click and drag my tools panel away from the left hand side and leave it here as a floating panel, and I click on the chevron at the top, we have the other option of a single horizontal. Another click and it's back into a double column. Now, to redock this, I'm going to drag it over to the left hand side. You'll feel it sort of snap to the left hand side of the screen there. Currently it's not docked properly, as you can see, because it's covering the rulers. You just have to push it that little bit further until you get that blue line and the shadow. Then you can let go and you can see it's redocked. Okay, so a nice simple modification to the tools. I prefer mine in the double column. So I've made a change. That's my tool panel. However, my workspace wasn't like this when I opened it, because it was actually in a default workspace defined by InDesign. So which workspace was it? Well, I can actually see that the workspace was the advanced, because it says it up here in the application bar at the top. Advanced, that is the current workspace I'm in. You can also access the workspaces underneath Window and Workspace and find a list of predefined workspaces. For example, Essentials. Essentials workspace, as you can see, has already put my tools back into a single column because that's the default state of that panel. And the right hand side here, I've suddenly got a different cluster of panels over here, because that's what you get underneath the Essentials. If I switch it back to the Advanced, this is the cluster of panels on the right hand side I get under the Advanced workspace. The Advanced workspace also gives me a single tool column, but as you can see it's in a double because I modified it and it's just remembered. If I click on the word Advanced, you'll see underneath these default workspaces towards the bottom I've got the option to reset the Advanced workspace. So anything that I've done to modify the Advanced workspace has now been put back. For example, the tools here in a single column, everything's been put back to its default state. Really handy if you've had lots of panels out and you've perhaps lost a few, you've added a few and you wanted to put it back to how it was. Very quick way of doing that. Which means, for example, if I had a few panels out, let's just drag a few panels out there and I click on Advanced and then Reset, it's going to put those panels back. In fact, it will reset everything to its default state. Nice and simple. However, what if I wanted to preserve certain states? For example, my tool panel in a double column. I'd quite like to preserve that. I'd quite like actually to add some panels on the right hand side here, but don't appear underneath the advanced state. Now all these panels you're going to find underneath the window menu. I'm just going to add a couple here. Random object and layout. I think I'll click on the align panel. Now, interesting, when I've selected the align panel, it seems to be tabbed with the pathfinder because this is a panel group. This is just how it comes out. As you can see in my panels on the right hand side here, for example, stroke, swatches, gradient and now the CC libraries are all part of a panel group. You can see that because these are the divisional lines, top and bottom there. To add this panel group to the right hand side, drag it over, hover underneath, for example, the character styles, and you'll see a blue line. That's just going to be an indicator of where you're going to put your panels. I can actually put them anywhere. I'm going to leave them at the bottom. However, I didn't actually want the pathfinder out, so I'm going to open it, click on the tab, drag it away, and then click on the cross to get rid of it. Okay, So there's my new panel. I'm going to add just one more. I think we'll go down to type and tables. Let's get the character panel open. There's a character panel, and I'm going to drag that and put it at the bottom there as well. Now, I do know that if I click on advanced and then reset advanced, I'm going to lose these two panels, and this is going to go back into a single column. So instead of saying reset, I'm going to say new workspace. And today I'm just going to put my name on it and click OK. And you'll see your name will appear at the top. Great, there it is. And if I click on Window and Workspace, you will see your name on this list of default workspaces too. Now the beauty of this is, for example, let's say I've had my tools out and I've inadvertently closed them. I've had my paragraph styles panel out because I've been working a lot on paragraph styles. Maybe I've been doing a lot of colour and I've my swatches panel. You can see in no time at all, it gets pretty messy. Now, to get everything back, I could go up to the window and find my tools panel and drag these back one by one. However, the quickest way is just to click on your name and reset. And hey presto, within a couple of seconds, everything's put back just how you want it. Fantastic. There's lots of things you can do with your panels. For example, if I was wanting a panel out for quite a while, I could just have it as a free floating panel. I can minimize these whilst they're there. I could also drag this up, for example, and I'm just going to drop it next to that stack of panels there. Look at that big blue line. Let go. And now I've got my paragraph style panel permanently open. Perhaps I'll do the same with my character. Let's have that perhaps at the top. And I could also have my character styles panel, and I'll have that one sandwiched in the middle. So now I've got all three permanently open. That's really handy. I've got a nice big screen. I can get away with using this space here. Now, of course, if I reset, it's going to lose those. So if I wanted to preserve this new state, then, hey, I could just say new workspace, and I could call this one Stanley 2, for example, and then click OK, and now I've got another workspace. So this is this state, and if I switch over to the other one, let's just reset it. That's how I first created my workspace, and then Stanley 2 is the second one, and as you can see, that was the one that included these panels in this state. Very useful. Once you've got it all sorted out, you don't have to go hunting for your panels if you've lost them, close them, move them. One quick way of tidying things up. In fact, I do it every time I start a new project, or perhaps in the morning I just reset my workspace so I know everything's there if I need it. Okay? Thank you.